What else?
She is my gospel artist of the week. Kitubua Helena, Mokotala magazine show. It is 20 minutes after 11. Kelebo Hekonol Tandom Kevu, Kahorefa Mole Heditaba. Jesus Planted Vines Ministry invites you to come and celebrate the prosperity of its founder, author, and lead evangelist, Gugule Tunguta, on her success after she won 2 awards at this year's 11th SABC Gospel Crown Awards. As the community of Egorleni, you are cordially invited to come and celebrate as family and friends come together on Saturday at the New Life in Christ Church. The celebration will start at 3 p.m. Doors open 2:30 p.m. on the 22nd December 2018. At New Life in Christ Corner Hlobo and Kotani Street, Guatemala. Entrance is free. For more information, contact Pastor Twala on 064 051 3476 or Karabo on 071 906 8881. Come, let us thank the Lord together. Hello, Gugu. Okay.
Kiko Khai. What? First of all, Abalaleli, they don't know how beautiful the studio looks. The last time I was here, smoking coffee, hallelujah.
Hey, so you
community This looks stunning.
Thank you.
The equipment you've got, we're even saying Harakenamu. You can still smell the new furniture. So and we are so glad hore le mo hae ra di bona dintho tsena.
Yeah, tsentle di tsa
press us force. To you and the
Thank
listeners.
You.
Happy lunch, ba jang.
Yeah. Yes.
Those who are preparing for Christmas. Hallelujah.
Thank you so much for making the time to come. Listeners at EKFM.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Please tell us who Gugu is. Gugu.
Sure. Gugu letu kitwaletse mo Tsakani.
Yes.
Springs Guatemala. Busy ekinaldi tlhobo.
Yeah.
Mo Tsakani le Tema. A child of God, a musician, as you've said, an author, an ordained evangelist. So I'm more passionate about bringing people to the body of Jesus Christ. But more than anything, I love my community. You know, as and I do a lot of mentoring young people, elderly couples, you name it, and that's who I am in a nutshell. I'm also in business, an entrepreneur. So yeah, I do all those things through God's grace.
As well as le mama and after ulahlehetswe like ke ntate wa hao hule ho ba jwang after papa antshonang a hlokahetse.
You know, I look at ntate o hlokahetse, I was dilemo tse tharo. I was 3, very young, so I don't have so many memories you know, but you know, growing up, family of ntate ne ke ba tseba ba Mothema. And we just, you know, we were just a small home, you know, full of women, and a very humble family, not a silver spoon. I was taught for you to have what you have to work hard, but also, you know, be bold enough to know, but have the strength to walk away,
have the strength
and the love to always, you know, come back later and preach the good news, which is what I'm doing.
So Kukule Tuhanze Ahola, music o fumana Edward age.
Yo, very young age. I look at Kehutse Vele in a house where Obapala music. You know, Kehutse the OJs, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Roberta Flack, Donny Hathaway, Brooke Benton. You know, so music for now was always that love. And I think obviously how Hola, you know, before the days of apartheid, we couldn't go far. You know, Hula Motsakani, Bobotema in the streets of dust. You can't dream much.
You can't.
And music, it's all that we had. I mean, TV, I remember Motsakani, I think after Tema.
Yeah.
You know, we were still on the
Yeah.
battery, the candles, and all sorts. But that was not anything to stop me from dreaming big. And music, that's where I learned. I think as you sing along, you don't realize actually you are exercising your vocal cords. And so, ladies' night, you know, and all that. You know, we would sing. And growing up there, and then being in the church walls, the choir, you know, that's when it started to go skolong as well until now the choir. In those days, we had battles of the choirs, if you remember. There were the choir, Tako Tema, Tako Tuduza, they used to come together. Not only dancing, even those ballroom, those times. So that's when I learned. But the seriousness of it started literally when I started understanding that my love for God. You know, I always isn't that. I knew God as a father first because I didn't have a father. So when I met this person who I was told he's the source, he's the everything, for me it was like, this is my father. And singing for me was something I did in private for him. Little did I know Mudimu actually was extending me and opening me up for the world. But at this age and for such a time as this.
26 minutes after 11, Umametse Ekhothala magazine, a show, a gospel artist of the week, Ke Auskukulethu Enguta. She won 2 awards at this year's 11th SABC Gospel Crown Awards. What will be happening this coming and Saturday? So, yes.
You know, but it's not as if I was scared to go publicly because how likerekeng but about sheba, you know, the choiring. But I didn't aspire to be a musician. You know, until now. Obviously, when I started writing the book, the music, and and Mudimu did a wonderful. He still continues. Every day.
Oh my God!
Mudimu continues to leave me in awe. And
so the decision, how like to record music,
the decision, you know, I look at this year. I had a standstill. January, late December, Jan, last year nekikula, you know, and then I went through a major operation, which literally got me home. For the first time I sat down because you know, 6 weeks of recovery, and now look, you are limping with the paining, you know, you're trying to find something to do, and you know, because I'm always busy. And for the first time there it was, you know, the pambiri, the buka, you know, diaries and diaries from years. And Mudimu just said to me, look, you've seen me heal you. Lausa, I didn't heal you miraculously. You had to through a medical intervention. You had to go through it. But at the end of the day, I'm still Jehovah Rapha. I still heal. So now as Mudimu, I've kept my end of the bargain. Where now, hey, because you've always promised to do how. I think it's time. And in my healing, in my limping, in my pains, I've good friends of mine to say, recommend me. Who do you know, the best producer in Mogauteng? They recommended, and I went to studio, still in recovery. I would sing, I would do, you know, it was a new world for Nna. It was a new world, and I did that. We had songs, but obviously we had to stick to a number of songs that we wanted, and I was ready. And I think Mudimu preparile so that I wasn't even surprised. You know, all these things said halang. It's not as if I think those are the two different things. I'm not in shock to say, yo, Mudimu, can you really do it through me? He's been preparing me for literally 37 years. But music at a very young age. But for now, where I'm seasoned, I've gone through. So everything I'm doing, it's from experience. Where I can say, Mudimu untite mo, angenya mo, and it's say, I've lost so many people, but here are the testimonies of it.
Jarata Hauri, God has been preparing you.
Yes.
29 minutes after 11, I am coming back.
Would like to grow.
Risen King, I co-wrote it with a friend, pastor, friend of mine.
Okay.
So we sat down and said, look, what is the song, your celebration? Jesus is coming back. wa khutla, and there's a time where we'll be celebrating, so let's shout praise.
Yes.
And then the other songs, I think the first one,
Yes.
that is a song that I wrote. So I do write. But, you know, I've always said for you to grow, you have to be a person that is willing to sebetsa le batho ba bang. So I never close myself, and I refuse. I literally force myself to say, by the way, in as much as you can be gifted in everything, remember, we are in the kingdom, and the kingdom says that Mele is one, but it has many parts. And you could have a song, yeah, how, but Mutomongo could give you an idea to say, why don't you twist here? Why don't you say
and
this?
That idea.
That becomes, I mean, you know, I always refer to like Michael Jackson. Half of the songs he didn't write. Quincy Jones was the man behind, but Quincy Jones could never do what Michael Jackson did.
That is
so when you know where, you know, the chemistry is. So that's what I did. I worked with people, and I'll continue to do so. I'm always open for new talent, for new ideas, because that's how comfortable. Tonze, we we're comfortable so much that you don't think someone will take your place, and then you become a great leader.
39 minutes after Ntonang 11. So he kopa hore o nhlalosetse o kena ko studio wa record mole CD ya how, and then comes the Crown Awards.
Yeah, so you know the Crowns. Then I had to do everything I needed to do. I knew that I needed to go on radio, I needed to go newspaper. There was a lot of hard work, because how fits our CD? That's just your product. No one knows, no one cares. What's so different? But there were stories are how. And then one day, a friend of mine, I'm phoning King. They actually could be worth you entering to the Crowns. I'm like, no, get it about the Crowns. Why don't you enter? You know, because I think you could stand a good chance. And the Crown had in all the categories. You know, newcomer, so written song, produced, and so the advice that I got was to say, Oscar boxer.
Okay.
You know, depends obviously. There's some money that you must pay for a category. So if you've got enough, maybe enter few, because no one knows you. You know, you are up against Batu, who have done music before, but Sibiwang, when are you still new? So if so you find like it's a public information per category. You enter for like 1,200 rand.
Okay.
So if you're gonna enter multiple categories, that's how much that you enter. And then I did that, and literally because of the names, my name was literally coming up. People started paying attention to say, okay, there's something here. And then we worked to the level. You know,
I
that
can
CD,
imagine.
it's a four quartet EP, but we put our best in it. Literally, it took us months. We were not in a rush. The producer, he's a very well-known guy, Olita Bete. He's very good in the industry. He's produced for Bo Benjamin Dube, Bo Solima Tlamu. He plays for Tandi Somazwai. So I knew that quality had to go in, because only good quality gets the attention that it needs. You know, because you can't, you also you can't expect to always give people poor quality, and then you wonder why. So it's exactly that. Someone's listened and they thought this is worth somebody hearing, and at this stage, and I did that, and Mudimu had a perfect timing. Had perfect timing.
So like the shock, how Parama Mole award how the awards are how.
You know, I think you know, back to what you were saying, Mudimu had prepared me for 37 years, and for now it was an honor one.
It was an honor.
Because I always go get prepared. You know, I prepared for all the categories.
Okay.
Not if when I won, because I went by faith. To say, Mudimu, you cannot only say more and then nothing. So I literally had a speech for each category, and actually I walked away, as you said, with 2. So I knew, you know, for me was to thank whoever I needed to thank, and was just to rejoice. Were the nerves there? Little bit, but I walked on stage knowing what we're thinking. This is God. This is God literally saying, here I am showing up to show off. Yeah, it was like God saying, here, you know, by saying, by Bible, they said, can anything come out of Bethlehem? You know, know, and something came out of Bethlehem, the King of Kings, the hope of glory, you know, the great I am, the one who died. Something comes out from where you at least expected. And for Nanelin, which is why I screamed, I said, this one literally is coming to Ekurhuleni, to Guatemala, we're bringing it home.
Yo.
Yeah.
So the challenges maybe like ukopaneng le zona along the way, like in the music industry, or culture, like it's a thing.
The challenge is level. You know, one thing I've learned is to keep to what God has called you. Never ever allow anyone to push you to a place where you know that's not what I'm called for. Things like, example, your sound. You know, not where there's a sound that's happened. There's a sound God has released on His church, and everyone has to tap into that. So, and you know, I loved the Crowns by Bita sound yako Woolworths. Very gospel as a Woolworths. Ile mongene Woolworths. So we like the credit card. And then, you know, the reason for that is because Mudimu, when he looks at Lefat, he looks at one.
Yes.
He sees us as one, irrespective of whether you're in the US or here. And Azukwa is one of the languages. So also that's important. Also being authentic. You know, being authentic, because into highly and original, you are able to stand for it. You don't always have to cover for it. How fitlamo EKFM or say, how fitlamo say. Yeah, so, and also just being a howling one because we are here not to sing, we are here to preach. The music becomes the outlet. The music becomes a drawing card for people to come nearer. But as a balemo, can we do what we're supposed to, which is to preach and bring the gospel, the good news of salvation? So you have to. So now for now, I've always said, if you are gonna go into that, don't be caught up in the hype. Don't be caught up in the hype. You know, I look at the crown, the trophy. If you ask me, Diko guy, I could even hug. They with my mother, because that cannot be the focus point. Or you know, it's about accolades. Kitako mama dinke. So that Nayano Musebit is supposed to continue. So for anyone, and also hard work. Takes hard work, like anything, like you going to study medicine, like you going, if you didn't study music, you can imagine, you've just got the gift that is natural. There's people who studied music who can tell you the terms and the technicalities, but we're now with the gift that is natural that God has bestowed on you. How graceful are you? So you can't come here again and start playing games, you know, without putting effort, without really showing the excellent God that we serve.
So anything where it's like we can see
challenges are there, but you know, how do I, you know, when you've got something good, there's always people who are out there willing to listen. And guess what? That person that you might be believing for might have what you need. So it's exposure is also important, you know, where go and know the people in your field so that you get to expose yourself. It's just minor things. Minor things that if uli mature, ignore them. Ignore malicious talks, the works of the flesh, you know, whether it's jealousy, envy, ignore those things. They are a waste of time. I always tell people, if you know who you are, leave the others to those who haven't mastered them. Master you.
And family support, imina hakana kana mowen.
It's a pillar for me, because bao ke batho ba ke reng ha ke tswa tseleng ba tjoro wa itse mo wa pota mo, or batho ba ke reng lefatshe when it has struck me the wrong way, I can come back home and let go and cry and say but ma. So my husband is very supportive. I've got 2 beautiful daughters. They are my critique. You know how Rekodi Crowns I looked amazing. I had to, a 14-year-old and a 9-year-old. They had to tell me, Mommy, what's in, what's not. You know,
and what's about everything.
Yes. And my mother, who's the praying force with my dad, my bishop, I'm also submitted somewhere. I believe in that you have to be rooted somewhere where you are eating the word. So the family pillar for me, it's a few people who I'm very close to, who I can talk to about anything without shame. But guess what? I know one thing, they'll pray. they will pray on it.
All right. Kopa umpolelle ka the next song e re tlo tshamekang mayenziwe intando yakho, then he re tlo bua ka hore ho etsahalang ka di 22 ha di khutla.
Mayenziwe as ichotata hawayetse. That song, I wrote it during the times when our own country was going through a turmoil, where we've seen the corruption, we've seen the atmosphere with the political leaders, and we saw also the persecution on the church, where these days men and women of God are getting exposed for preaching what is false and false prophecy. And God just said, you know what, there's only one kingdom, and that is my kingdom. So yachere umbuso wako, you know, mawenze umhlaba nezulu mazibabaze igama lakho. So at the end of the day, not my will, not our will,
But his
many
will.
other plans of man, but there's only one plan that prevails. So it says that.
Amen. To go.
So Saturday, Umgqibelo.
Umgqibelo.
So Rite Harry
Yes.
wina the crowns
Yeah.
level, and Harry Dular Lebako High and the whole church and the leadership to say, what do we need to do?
Yes.
And it was clear we need to thank the Lord for what He has done. And how do you thank the Lord? You don't thank Him alone, but you thank Him with Libas Chaba and people that have been there. So we are there Kotani at New Life in Christ Church, as you've said.
Yes.
It's a free entrance. All of Ekurhuleni is invited. If you're a child of God, you're also a musician, because also my aim is to open up. Now that, not just to open up, now that the roads have been opened and the doors, if it can be done for me, guess what? It can also be done for you. But then come see on Saturday and rejoice with us. There you'll get to meet everyone. You'll get to meet me. I want the bodyguard. We're just gonna pray, have the word.
I want to celebrate.
And thank the Lord. If what you want to celebrate you, then you'll have time to be with them. So for now, it's just to honor that and to lift up the cities and the towns where Kihudi is doing thing. That's all we're going to do. So we are inviting all churches, all musicians, all choirs, everyone. Come through on the 22nd. It starts from 3 o'clock. The doors will be open from 2:30. By 6 o'clock, that's all.
And your last message to everyone who's listening?
Last message is that but there's nothing that the year has for you. It's just a change from 8 to 9.
All right.
The question is, what do you have for the year? Ngwaha o shebile wena, or wena o na le eng for nna. So you are supposed to be now preparing so that 2019, it's takeoff time. Biblically, if you look at the number 9, there's a spiritual meaning. It's a time of judgment, purification, and we know our country going to elections. So there's a lot that God is doing in the spiritual realm. So us as children of God, we need to gear ourselves for the times that we are in. For young people, the message still remains the same. Be safe, be sound, don't lose your mind. It's just December wafita. For families, the same. Spend, celebrate, but remember, next year is coming. Don't find yourself short. You know, I love that story. It's a Christ it's out to feed the 5,000. He told his disciples to say, go and collect the crumbs. Go and collect what's on the ground. So if our God, who was God Almighty, he knew, or don't be wasteful, what more with us? So 2019, I want to wish everyone a wonderful Christmas is coming, New Year's Eve, and let's be a people of change. The church, there's so much that has been put on us. The stakes